Yeah, I got like the chat room over there. All right, cool. Take a deep breath, and here we go. Welcome to Podnutz Pro. This is show number 31. I know that we haven't done a show in what, Matt, in about 3 or 4 weeks or so.
I think, yeah, we missed 3 weeks. That's right.
Yep, and Matt had some stuff going on, and I had some stuff going on. So thank you for coming back and checking out the show. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't retire. Me and Matt didn't hit the lottery and are in a tropical island. But I'll
Not
drink
yet.
some beer. Or not yet. Later on. I got some dental work done because had some bad teeth, Matt. Some my face was swollen. That's how bad my face was infected. So.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I had some health issues going on. I actually didn't even touch a computer for a couple of weeks. Um, so that was what happened, and then I was on vacation. So apologize for everybody that missed so long, but
Mm-hmm.
things weren't going too well, so we weren't able to do it.
Hey, stuff happens, right? And as my boy Cayman says, such is life. So, but we're back. So, thank you for taking the time to join us and partake in our podcast. And if you haven't listened to the podcast before, pretty straightforward. We take you from the realm of home PC tech to networking and servers and sharing the files and file permissions and NTFS and all the fun stuff that you just can't sleep about because it's constantly on your mind. So, co-host of the show, the man himself, like the legend. If you get his autograph, it might be worth $2. Matt Rainey, what's up, man?
Oh, no, doing better now. I say I've been having some issues, but hopefully that's passed now. So doing pretty good now. Back to working and busy every day now.
Cool. And I'm pretty sure you missed them queues and phone calls and emails and tickets, huh?
Yeah, for all the people who've been sending me emails, I haven't. Like I said, I missed two. I didn't even touch a computer for a couple of weeks. I tried to return a lot of them. I might have missed one or two, so if I did, I'm sorry. So if I haven't answered an email, resend it to me. That way I know I didn't. I missed it, and I'll answer it. So
All right, man. Cool. Well, let's get it started. What will we be covering today? What's the show going to be about?
it's a few different things. I had an interesting problem this past week, a few days ago, and I come across it once in a while, so I thought I'd cover it for people who, and it's actually can be caused by quite a few different things. So I'll start from the beginning. I got a call from a client. Of course, the client said, "What? Server down?" That's right. But
Server
actually,
down.
she said the mail was down for everyone, and it's an exchange server. So she says the mail is down for everyone. So of course, when I hear that, I got this as a message, as a phone call to the receptionist. So before I call back, when I hear mail server down, I'll connect to the server. One cannot connect to the server, so connect to the server fine. Check services. All the exchange services are running. The database is mounted for exchange, the information store. So I log into Outlook Web Access. I can log in there fine. I send myself a test email. I get it. I reply. I
So,
get it.
as far as you can tell, everything's up and running. Like you said, the
Right.
services are up and everything looks good on your end.
Yeah, I can send and receive mail fine. So, of course, I called him back and asked him what the issue was. And again, she tells me the mail is down for everybody. And I asked her, well, it's not down because I've just sent and received test messages. Um, so what problem are you having? And I think sometimes they want to say mail is down for everyone because, of course, it sounds like it's important, and they hope to get a quicker response. So I said, who is it down for exactly? And when we say down, that means you can't send or receive mail, right? And is this for everyone? And she says, well, let me check. I didn't check with anybody else. So one, she didn't check with anybody else about what issues she was having.
So she's just gonna assume that the whole office is down, huh?
Right, because otherwise she has to get up. Right. So if things that aren't working for her, that's pretty much down for everybody as far as she's concerned. So, and that's typical in business. It's very typical when you're doing business support that whatever one person sees, they're going to assume that everyone is seeing it.
That's
Because when
correct.
I always ask, who else is having the problem? They'll either say everyone or they say, I don't know. And of course, I say, well, we need to find out the scope of the problem. There's going to be different troubleshooting procedures if it actually is down for everybody or if just you're having a problem. So I say, go ahead and find out. I said, whatever issue you're having, just check and see if other people are having it. I don't even know what the issue is because I can send and receive email fine. So she comes back and says, only two people are having the issue, her and somebody else. That's why I said, okay, well, what is the issue when you say mail is down? She says, well, I can't open emails. I said, okay. So I do a remote session with her, and Outlook is open, and I can open up mails. I open up mail and read the mail. I said, well, this seems working fine for you. What exactly do you mean you can't open mail? So then it gets down to the real issue. When she gets a Word or an Excel attachment in email, when she tries to open it, according to her, it takes 10 minutes to open.
Okay.
So I said, well, let's test it right now. So let's open it and see what happens. So she goes, well, it's going to take a while. I said, that's fine. I just want to see. So, of course, it wasn't 10 minutes. It was 60 seconds, which, of course, still is a problem
Right.
because it shouldn't take 60 seconds. But now I've got, and this might be a half an hour in, 20 minutes in. Now I've got the real problem. Two people, when they're opening Word or Excel documents from Outlook, it takes about 60 seconds to open. PDF attachments, fine. Pictures, fine. Even videos, those are fine. I said, okay, well, let's try another document. Let's just browse the network and open up a Word file that's stored on the network somewhere. I said, have you done that? Yeah, she goes, yes, that works fine. I said, okay, well, let's just verify it. So browse to one of their shared folders, open up a document, takes 60 seconds. She says, well, that's strange. That was working earlier. I said, okay, well, it's not working now. I'm seeing the same. So it's not email. It's a Word or Excel problem because it happens outside of Outlook.
Right.
So the next thing, troubleshooting process, I open up Word directly and I do file open, browse to the same file, and it opens up fine. So now we've got the real problem. When you double click on a Word or Excel file, it takes 60 seconds to open. And this is doing it locally. Well, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. This one was not. I didn't try locally, actually. Not yet. Not yet. So it's 60 seconds open. Have you seen this before, Lalo? Where files take a long time to open?
Yes, and I haven't read like email, but we ran into a similar problem. But I will let you finish first.
Okay. So there's a few things when you get this kind of thing to check for, and I was on a network, so you have to take into account all the different things. Of course, the first thing, probably always to check, is it the antivirus software.
Right.
Um, and that's pretty easy to unload the antivirus, so not uninstall it, but the corporate editions, you can unload the antivirus client. So it's not loaded, it's not running, so it's not affecting anything. And of course, if it's a new issue, meaning it worked fine yesterday and today it's slow, it's probably not the antivirus because nothing really changed. So unload the antivirus software just to make sure it has no effect. And the fact that I was working on all the other computers who have the same exact antivirus client, it wasn't affecting them. So I didn't really think in this case it was the antivirus, but just to make sure, it could have been some kind of install that was corrupted or maybe something was happening to the local agent. So I uninstalled it. The next thing you check for is see if it's printer related, because when you open these documents, sometimes it wants to go out and look for printers to know what printers is going to format. It looks at the printers you have installed. So in Windows X, and this is Windows XP. So in Windows XP, you can go into the control panel, go to folder options in the view tab, and advanced settings, you can uncheck automatically search for network folders and printers, just to make sure. And you're going to have better performance if you do this anyway. Even if this doesn't solve the problem, you might notice some better performance on just doing normal thing. So I did that, didn't fix anything. Next thing to check for is a lot of times you have bad shares or missing servers to where and a lot of times you do this when you're browsing the network, slow browsing too, but you may have a share or a server that's being referenced somewhere and it goes out and it tries to look for it and eventually it gives up and it just opens.
Exactly. And I've seen that happen, and how you can tell if you go to the command prompt and just type in net space use, it will show you your Z drive, your M drive, and it'll show you the full path of that drive. You'll see the word disconnected. When we had an issue where some of these folks would access a share on, a file on the network, and it would take forever. You do like a net use, you see that the map is disconnected, and it's Matt saying it's attempting to reach a location that it can't. So I just had the user log off and back on, and they're good to go. But sorry.
Yep. No, that's right. So yeah, a lot of times bad dead drive mappings. It could be a login script that mapped a drive, but it doesn't really exist. So it could be that. So check all the drives. Now, one thing you can do is you can run a netstat command prompt netstat -a. So what you do is you can run netstat -a and real quick try and open the file. You might see something in there. You might see where it's attempting to make a connection to something, or you might see an IP address. And I forget exactly what it looks like, but you're looking for something that says SYN sent for the status. Most of them you'll see completed, or I'm sorry, established for connection, or something like that. But if you see something that says waiting or sent, meaning it sent something when it's waiting for a response, something like that, that could be a bad server or a bad IP address that it's looking up. If you see something like that, you might need to go into the IP registry and look for that IP address. There might be something bad in the registry that's causing that. You can also use tools. There's some GUI interfaces that are nice, like Real Netstat has a GUI interface. A lot of information. It's not free, but if you use it a lot, or even once in a while, it can be useful. So anyway, bad drive mappings, bad servers, that kind of thing can cause this too. That wasn't my issue either. And normally you see this stuff recently if somebody in a larger place where somebody may have removed the server from service and didn't really think anybody was using it.
Okay.
I knew this place didn't have anything like that. They have one small business server. I knew nothing happened. And again, with those kind of things, a lot of times you're going to have it affect more than 2 people. This would be, if they took a server out of service, you might be affecting, or you would affect every person on the network. So I didn't really think it was any of these things, but I did go and check them. Now, another thing to check is if it's DDE or not. DDE is Dynamic Data Exchange. Have you seen it before, Lalo?
No.
Well, it's ancient. It really doesn't work very well. And the Office suite relies on DDE, and it causes a lot of problems in Office. But it's used for interoperability between Office and Windows and other programs. So it wants to use this to share data with other programs and Windows systems. It's DDE, Dynamic Data Exchange, and by default, this is turned on. So to check and see if this is your issue, you can go into the control panel, go to folder options, go to file types. So I was testing with a doc file, just a DOC file. So in the file types, you look for Word documents DOC. You highlight that, click on the advanced button, and once you have the advanced button open, there's going to be different actions in there. I'm looking for open. So I click on open and I select edit. You're going to see a command, and below that you're going to see use DDE, and it's a checkbox. And below that, some other options relating to DDE. If you uncheck use DDE, and in the field above it there's one field right there above it. Go to the end of that field and there's probably going to be a switch /DDE at the end of that line